Ferrari has proved the SF26 can win, yet Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc are getting different answers from the same car. Hamilton won in Barcelona, Leclerc answered at Silverstone, but Hungary exposed the tension underneath. Both had front-running pace on Saturday, yet neither reached the podium on Sunday. The speed is there. The confidence is more complicated. Hamilton sits second in the championship with 169 points, only 50 points behind Kimi Antonelli. In Hungary, he missed pole by just 0.012 seconds. Ferrari clearly has enough pace to fight at the front, but Hamilton has questioned the simulator while Leclerc has struggled to trust the car under braking. There is no clear evidence of a personal fight between them. The bigger question is whether Ferrari can trust its own technical direction when two drivers experience the SF26 so differently. To understand that, you have to start with the moment Hamilton and Leclerc began getting different answers from the same Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton made a bold choice before Canada. He stopped using Ferrari's simulator for that weekend because setups that felt right virtually could feel completely different on track. Instead, he focused on real circuit data. He then outqualified Charles Leclerc and finished second on Sunday. Leclerc saw things differently. He said Ferrari's simulator worked well for him and remained a powerful development tool. Hamilton trusted real track balance more, while Leclerc continued using the virtual preparation that had helped him for years. In Canada, Hamilton was also quicker in both qualifying sessions. David Croft called Hamilton's decision concerning for Ferrari because his strongest result followed a weekend away from the simulator, but Leclerc was still finding value in it. Ferrari now had two drivers trusting different preparation methods. The next problem would be even harder to ignore. Charles Leclerc's Monaco race ended when his Ferrari stopped giving him the braking response he needed. He later explained that 3 of his 4 brakes were no longer working properly. With almost no useful rear braking available, he reached Anthony Nogues, unable to slow the car normally, and hit the barrier. The warning had already appeared before the crash. Leclerc struggled with braking through Monaco, while Hamilton had moved toward carbon industry brake discs earlier in the season. Leclerc had tested that option at Suzuka, but initially stayed with Brembo. After Monaco, Ferrari reopened that choice. Leclerc planned to move closer to Hamilton's brake direction for Barcelona. It showed Ferrari had a possible solution inside the garage. But another problem had already appeared in Miami, where a huge upgrade package created a completely different kind of concern. Ferrari reached Miami with 11 updated components, the biggest upgrade package on the grid. Charles Leclerc immediately topped practice with a 1 minute 29.310 second lap, finishing 0.297 seconds, ahead of Max Verstappen. For a moment, Ferrari appeared to have found something major. Qualifying changed the picture. Leclerc finished third, 0.345 seconds behind Kimi Antonelli's pole lap. In the race, tyre temperatures became harder to control and Ferrari slipped away from the leaders. Antonelli won, while Hamilton and Leclerc finished outside the podium positions. Former Ferrari engineer Rob Smedley explained the danger. When upgrades do not deliver exactly as expected, engineers must spend valuable time understanding why. Fred Vasseur insisted Ferrari's package worked, but Leclerc admitted rivals had improved more. Miami showed how quickly development gains could disappear. Mercedes has turned Ferrari's technical problems into a championship threat. Mercedes leads the constructors with 379 points, while Ferrari has 307. Kimi Antonelli, now in his second Formula One season, leads the Drivers' Championship with 219 points, putting Hamilton 50 points behind. McLaren has added another complication. Lando Norris won in Hungary, proving McLaren can now take victories whenever Mercedes or Ferrari leave an opening. McLaren remains behind Ferrari in the constructors' standings, but every Norris victory removes valuable points from Ferrari's championship fight. Ferrari therefore needs more than occasional individual brilliance. Both cars must score heavily on the same weekends. Mercedes has built its advantage through consistent results, while McLaren is becoming more dangerous. Silverstone, however, showed Ferrari exactly what happens when both sides of the garage finally connect. Lewis Hamilton challenged Ferrari's original setup direction at Silverstone and stayed with the balance he trusted. Charles Leclerc began closer to the simulator recommendation, then moved toward Hamilton's direction as Ferrari gathered more real track data. Instead of dividing the garage, the comparison helped Ferrari. The result was immediate. Leclerc qualified second, only 0.175 seconds from Kimi Antonelli's pole time, while Hamilton started third. Leclerc then won the Grand Prix, and Hamilton completed a Ferrari double podium by finishing third. Leclerc said the setup changes gave him back the feeling he had been missing. Hamilton believed the direction he had pushed was finally working. Silverstone showed that different opinions could actually strengthen Ferrari, but Hungary would test whether that progress could survive another completely different weekend. Charles Leclerc topped the first practice session in Hungary before Lewis Hamilton went fastest in the second. Leclerc recorded a 1-minute, 19.075-second lap. Then Hamilton improved the benchmark to 1-minute, 18.729 seconds. Both Ferrari drivers clearly had serious pace, yet Sunday produced a different result. Lando Norris won, Leclerc finished fourth, and Hamilton fifth after receiving a 5-second pit lane speeding penalty. Leclerc still set the fastest lap of the race, with Hamilton producing the second fastest. That is why the evidence does not support a Hamilton and Leclerc feud. Their challenges come from different preferences and technical areas, not personal conflict. Ferrari's real problem is turning strong pace into the same complete result across an entire weekend. That makes the remaining championship races far more important. Ferrari has 12 Grand Prix left to decide where this season goes. Zandvoort comes first as a sprint weekend, giving teams only 1 hour of practice before sprint qualifying. Ferrari cannot afford to spend half the weekend searching for the correct direction. Monza follows with completely different demands, while Madrid brings a brand new circuit measuring 5.416 kilometers with 22 corners. 3 very different tracks will quickly show whether Ferrari can make the SF26 predictable across changing conditions. Hamilton and Leclerc do not need identical driving styles or identical setups. Ferrari needs to understand what each driver requires and deliver it quickly. The SF26 has already shown enough speed to win. The final test is whether Ferrari can turn that speed into something both drivers can trust every weekend.